Nigeria is one of the major producers of livestock in Africa. Herdsmen, who are predominantly Fulani and farmers, are the major players and stakeholders in the livestock sector in Nigerian agro-allied industry. In time immemorial, Fulani herdsmen and farmers maintained a cordial relationship, in most cases have led to intermarriages. Presently, the strong ties within the farmers and Fulani herdsmen is fading away. This has led to violence that have resulted into loss of lives and properties worth billions of naira, as well as threatening not only the peaceful coexistence that existed between the major players in Nigerian agricultural sector, but the nation's food security. The northern parts of the country is worst hit by the crisis between the Fulani herdsmen and farmers. Some of these clashes have occurred in states like Kaduna, Nasarawa, Plateau, Niger, Taraba, Enugu, Bayelsa, and most recently and frequently in Benue South Agatu local government area, among others. The crises have left many children orphans, women became widows, and also resulted to loss of property worth billions of naira and rendered many people homeless. This development has become worrisome to the Nigerian government. President Muhammadu Buhari had to order an investigation panel into Agatu clashes due to the high level of destruction of life and properties in the area. Some of the people living in the affected areas attributed the causes of these crises to environmental, social, political, and economic factors. The federal and state governments in Nigeria have taken many measures to arrest the ugly trend, but people living in the areas affected say government's effort is not enough.
People from nowhere, coming from the Kogi, part of our end, with our boundary with them, came over there and macheted people and burnt houses, burnt all the farms.
We owe it a responsibility as the highest law-making body in this country, not only to bring about improvement on the quality of restrictions of lawless people, but to cause those who are supposed to supervise implementation of law and order to actually carry out their responsibilities.
We have apprehended some persons. You must be able to advance evidential proof for you to be able to go to prosecution and actually, obtain a conviction.
They however suggested some of the ways to lasting solutions of Fulani herdsmen and farmers' clashes, which they say is not only affecting the socio-economic growth of Nigeria, but also the security aspect.
The farmers and pastoralists will always be there. But criminality has crept into the process, and it is beginning to affect agriculture in Nigeria. In most of these communities, you will find out that most farmers can hardly get by because they are afraid of going to their farms.
We shall pursue the establishment of clusters of dairy farmers which will be equipped with milk collection facilities, schools for children of the herdsmen, markets for their products.
The best way to approach the pastoralists and farmers problem is to be proactive. There are three things involved here. We're talking about the root. If the roots are protected, even before the rains set in, protected in such a way that farmers do not encroach on the root, and then the grazing land again, if they can be protected to ensure that they are also not encroached by farmers, as well as the ponds, the watering ponds, if they are ready. But to do this, we need to be proactive.
If you look at the grazing areas, there are certain contributions that the state governors ought to make. But now everybody is transferring responsibility to the federal government. What are the state governors doing?
Majority of households in Savannah sub-Saharan zone of Africa own livestock. They include cattle, sheep, goats, in addition poultry. In Nigeria, livestock accounts for 1/3 of the nation's agricultural GDP, providing means of livelihood to more than 70% of Nigerians. transportation and revenue earner.